Okay, so we've got all the auto assignment type of workflows worked out, and it's going great for your business. First in, first out methodology, things are a lot more accurate. It's awesome. However, as it goes with any software, there's always caveats and there's always things that happen. So, what are the options available to you when it comes to better understanding how you can deal with something that wasn't handled correctly on account of using automation? Well, all of the sales orders and all of the manufacturing orders that were fulfilled are also, you can edit them as needed. So let's say, for example, with respect to some of the earlier sales orders that we fulfilled using auto fulfillment, we'll take 1028 as an example. And as you recall, there was three batches that this sales order was fulfilled from. Now, if we look at the batch list, you can go inside of here and actually edit batch info, and it will bring up a screen that allows you to make changes where changes need to be made. And you can do all of this without reversing the sales order and trying to do it from scratch again, because that's not really the way to go about it. You want to just go and edit the correct information. You know for a fact that these items were removed on this particular day, the sales order was completed at that particular time. It's just a matter of making sure that the information is correct. And if you had done that workflow and you need to change something, maybe batch 005 wasn't actually the correct one. Maybe we actually took it from batch 004. So you can come in here and edit that data and say, oh, it actually was batch 004 that we took it from. Then you can confirm that save. As a result of making that change, then the batch 005 that we used some stock from should replenish itself in its inventory back to 5 pieces like we had before. So that means that any of those adjustments that you're doing as needed, it'll actually fix it correctly in your stock too, in real time. Lots of problems that you would otherwise encounter or have to go and edit are also done automatically behind the scenes when you need to make changes. Now from the sell screen, maybe you had the make to order use case that was auto fulfilled, where it just assigned this strange batch number to that item. Maybe since this is just a placeholder that Katana assigned on the completion of that manufacturing order, this particular batch can also be changed. So let's say that this is maybe batch dash 0012, for example, and you created those 5 pieces. So what does that mean for the linked manufacturing order? We look on stock page, we look on the manufacturing queue, and we look at the completed manufacturing orders that we had just done, and we see these 5 pieces, then you'll see that the batch number has been updated on the manufacturing order, which is linked from the sales order where we changed the data. Very, very important. Now, while we're here, this is the manufacturing order that made that make to order. Perhaps we didn't auto fulfill from the beans 3 batch, but instead, maybe we took a batch of these from the beans 5 batch, for example. And you can update that information. This means that the beans 3 batch, whatever it was previously, here on the stock screen in the batches tab, will have been adjusted correctly, and then previously we used 5 kilograms, but there was 6, and now the 6 is back. So that could also be very clear here. And if we look at the beans 5, you can see that the minus 5 kilograms was taken for that manufacturing order that was linked back to the sales order, which we had just changed it for. So all of these movements basically get edited as required and updated in real time within Katana's ledgers. Super, super critical. There is so much that can go wrong when you're making these edits that would require multiple steps, but we do keep those things up to date when you need to make those changes. Those changes can happen. It will save a tremendous amount of time in terms of man hours and also accuracy, and improve your productivity quite a lot. Now, going into more of the details with respect to historical movements, we can also take a look at the stock of those items. So let's say we're checking out our inventory. I may have mentioned this already briefly in some of the other videos. Just want to reiterate how important it is that when we're looking at our stock data and presently checking out, let's say, stock at one of our locations, we can look at any batch trackable goods. Let's take our really active items. So here's like Brazilian coffee here. We can look at the in-stock quantities, and you can see I have a tremendous amount of different stock movements from different things, but I can also look at the historical stock movements of the different batches. So like batch 002, where did these go? Stock adjustments, sales order 1 took 20 pieces, another sales order took 5 pieces, and I can batch track that across this particular product against all of my batches. Anytime I have a scenario that I need to look into, or batch lookup for any of the products that I've sold in my sales orders. Now, also, material-wise, we can do the exact same thing. Green beans, in stock quantities, check out the different batches that we have and see the history of them. I'll check out some ones that actually do have more history. I only have done it a handful of times, but again, you can see where 2.5 kilos was removed for manufacturing order 2 and also brought into stock from purchase order 13. And those will link back to all of my suppliers and also manufacturing orders, for example, where you can see the batch number for the output and then the batch numbers for the input. And so this is the full traceability, how you can navigate within Katana across your entire end-to-end tracking.